Okay, I Mrs. Nussbaum, it's way too early for you. On a good day, it's too early for you. Right now, I don't want to hear. We have a caller on the air.
Morning.
Good. Ooh, there she is. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Sound Travels is pleased to present to some and introduce to others the heart of Sound Travels. Nearer, my God, to thee, she is Chaplain Neera, ably assisted by the Wolf.
Yay!
Good morning.
Good morning.
There he is. We have a third caller on the line. Hello. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey. Wow, now I'm looking at you too.
Good morning, caller.
Oh my God, I wasn't sure how this worked.
Is this Sister Carol?
Yes, it is.
Wow. Did you get in through the website? Did you get in through the website?
I did. I'm speaking on my phone, but I'm watching on Facebook.
All right.
Awesome.
Now we just need somebody else to call in to test the theory that more people can do this at one time.
Yay! Good morning, Carol.
Good morning. It's such a pleasure to speak with you all.
Well, Sister Carol, just we believe in total total disclosure.
Yes.
Yes. Sister Carol is a faithful member of New Bethel Baptist Church. She's quite interesting in that she's a studious student who actually seems to be trying to take advantage of the knowledge that she's getting and is appreciative of same.
Okay.
So we do, we like having her around.
God bless you, dear.
Thank you very much.
Okay, well, the topic for this morning is them niggos must be crazy. No, that's not the topic. This quickly, Bishop, this quickly.
I don't even have to search for the exits. I know where they are.
I want to deal with this. This topic was suggested by Brother Dan Vale. I guess after accusing him of having mental issues, he decided he was going to, tackle them on a grand scale. The mental issues that we face within the church. How good a job are we truly doing when it comes to clear-cut mental issues within the church?
I think we're doing a terrible job.
Bishop has rolled his eyes so hard at me that Bishop is like... See, Bishop has a background in the mental health field.
Okay.
So...
Yay!
And I personally have been crazy all my life, so Paul Simon said it best, still crazy after all these years.
Yep. The thing is people lose track of the fact that, they'll say, oh, look at, brother or sister so-and-so, they go to church every Sunday, but, we see all the discrepancies and all the hypocrisies, and I'd never go to that church. So they forget that church is not a showcase of beautiful people and perfect behavior. It's a hospital. It's a triage center where we go for healing. And sometimes that healing is physical. Sometimes that healing is emotional, spiritual, financial. Sometimes it's mental. But I've noticed the hypocrisy within the church of, we want to fellowship with other people healing, so long as they're only healing from easy stuff for us to process. If I go to a church and I say, brothers, please welcome me into your fellowship. I just got out of prison for robbing a bank. No problem. Step right up, because nobody in there owns a bank. If I go in there and I say, I shot somebody and killed somebody, well, okay, welcome, brother. They'll be a little more skeptical because we don't want you shooting me, but you're probably not going to if you come into our church. So welcome aboard. If a woman comes in and says, "I've been in adultery," crickets. Now you can. All you're gonna hear is the sound of the wagon circling to keep her out.
Okay, well let's continue the analogy, because if a teenager comes in, let's say that he is born male and he comes in full drag because he wants to transition, then not only crickets, but people will be making the sign of the cross, dousing them with holy water.
Yeah, and that's true. That's true, because that delves. Sex, for some reason or other, is like kryptonite.
Well,
And,
it's not. This is not a surprise. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
I'll let you talk.
When someone is trying
it's your
to
show.
transition or whatever, that you to even look at them and acknowledge them, you have to acknowledge their sexuality and the fact that there's a brokenness there. It's the same with someone who has committed adultery. For some reason or other, in the church, we think it's okay to say, okay, the Lord will forgive you for this and for this and for this, but not that. And it's so wrong. It is so wrong. We are in sin. If we are in any way, shape, or form denying or hindering somebody from receiving, God's joy, God's fellowship, God's forgiveness, if we're interfering with that, then I don't believe we are forgiven.
Well, let's get right down to it. I attended, as everybody knows, the Broken Chains Biker Church. It was my finishing school. If it wasn't for Pastor Tom Iddings and Chopper Deb, the legendary Chopper Deb, Deborah Iddings, his wife, I wouldn't be in the position I'm in, because that, for me, that location, that fellowship, that church, for me, was my finishing school. It was where I was able to come to the realization of that which God has been trying to get me to see for the longest time, in order for him to put me in the position where I am. If I had not been in that fellowship, I don't know what would have happened. But it was that fellowship that allowed me and prepared me to do what I'm doing these days. And I make no bones about it. However, even in that environment, where not only it's not that anything goes, but everybody is tatted, everybody is either or was hardcore bikers, except for us tourists, because understand something, I ride motorcycles. I know how to ride motorcycles. I've owned motorcycles, but I am not a biker. And it's very clear. It's made very clear to me I'm not a biker. You, Brother Dan, are a biker. Okay. And in that environment where everything goes, they said they had an issue, whether not, they didn't say this, but there was an issue with law enforcement. You could be, a 1%er, you could be right off the bike and trying to repent and get your life together. But if you were in law enforcement,
they didn't want you there.
Yeah. So every rose has its thorns.
Yeah. When I arrived in Texas, as you know, I'm a chaplain in a motorcycle club that's based in Ohio. I am all alone down here in Texas as far as the club goes, and I was starting to reach out to find out who's who in my area, as far as who are the Christians, who are the 1%ers, who and I'm smack dab in the middle of Banditos territory, and that's fine. They've been good to me thus far. But I'm looking online and I find there's a motorcycle club. I won't say the name, but the name implies that they are Christians. Okay, and I called them up and I said, "Hi, this is who I am, and I'm in your neighborhood. I thought it'd be nice to say hello." And they said, "Are you law enforcement?" "Are you sure?" "Yeah, I'm sure." Have you ever been a cop? I said, "Why does it matter?" "It's because law enforcement is not allowed around us."
There you go.
I said, "But you're Christians." Why would you be, it? And the answer I got was, "We're outlaws first, Christians second." And I said, "Well, okay, that answers my question. Have a nice day."
Yeah. Now, okay, Brother Wolf.
Well, we took a left turn where we should have taken a right.
Yeah. But
Well, real quickly before we go there, I have another example for you from my own experience of you have a young man come into your church who has severe OCD, who cannot introduce himself and cannot shake hands with someone without having gone through a certain number of repetitions of touching the buttons on his shirt and muttering to himself. And everyone gives him the side eye and nobody wants to talk to him. And he leaves eventually after that first day, doesn't come back because he can't feel comfortable. He can't talk to anyone. No one gives him a chance because nobody wants to be around him because, he's weird. Or you have a young woman come in who has visual hallucinations. And she walks in and looks at someone and goes, "Oh, maybe you shouldn't be leaning against that wall," and just kind of looks at him funny. And that person just kind of looks at her and goes, "Okay, well, why not?" They're giving her a chance. They're talking to her. They'd been having a conversation, and she just looks at him very nonchalantly. "Oh, well, the wall was bleeding." And they just look at her, and she looks at them, and she just continues on with the conversation. But it suddenly now becomes very obvious that she's dealing with mental health issues. And she has visual hallucinations and turns out some schizophrenia on top of that. How do you deal with those people?
Well, okay. Jalen got her own TV show. I guess it's called Jalen Out Loud. I refuse to watch it. I have no interest in whatsoever in watching somebody who is OCD and just says whatever they want to say, and got a TV show behind it. So I am just not. There are certain shows I no longer can watch because I just don't want to be a part of the silliness and the exploitation thereof. The fact that somebody came to her and said, "You have this mental condition. Let's make a TV show out of it." It just bothers me. I can't be a party to that. But how would you handle that coming into your church? Too many times, mental health issues are disguised as demon possession.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Bishop, come on before you just explode over there. Come on, Bishop.
Pentecostal brother.
The church tends to take a look at individuals who come in exhibiting odd behavior as demonic possession. Most times out of their own ignorance of what mental illness is. Okay. We may be a little bit better about it today because we have more mental health paraprofessionals or professionals in the church. But for a long time, anyone who came in and exhibited certain behaviors were automatically doused with oil, hands laid on them, slapped to the altar, and demons cast out. And my question has always been, if a person is demon possessed and you're operating under the power of the Holy Ghost and you cast those demons out and they don't leave, it might be because there's not a demon there.
Okay. Now, full disclosure, I have been, those of you who know that I have been in service with this young man pretty much all up and down the East Coast. Mm-hmm. It's just no other way to put it. And we were at a service in New York mm-hmm. with Bishop Dove. And after the service, it transitioned into a session where you said, we're about to start dealing with the demonic forces that are present here. Mm-hmm. And if you are not sure of who you are, you need to leave now. And you said this in an open church on an open mic. I know because that was my job. And you said, because we're not playing here. There are demonic forces that need to be cast out. But if you are, I'm trying to think of the words, but basically, if you don't know who you are, then you need to leave when it comes to this, because this is about to become a very dangerous environment. That sound familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we never had a real talk about that because it seemed pretty obvious at the time. But looking back on it, would you do that in today's environment?
Oh, absolutely. Unequivocally.
Okay.
Without hesitation.
You need to think about this at all?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Jesus, when he went into the room with the damsel, everyone who was in the house, he put them out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And he went in, performed the miracle.
Mm-hmm.
The child was raised.
Mm-hmm.
Why did he put everybody out?
Are you asking me, or are you just asking
in general?
In general. Okay, I'll let the general speak. Carol, why did he put everybody out?
Well, he was claiming it was a den of thieves. They've turned it into a den of thieves.
Well, no, that's a different situation.
Oh, all right. I'm sorry.
The daughter, when Jesus went in to heal Darius's daughter, was it?
Mm-hmm.
He put everybody that was in the room out before he healed her. You're not familiar? Okay. Fair enough.
Okay, so when he was approached by the young girl's father,
mm-hmm.
He had just healed a woman with the issue of blood.
Mm-hmm.
He gets to the house and the mourners are there.
Mm.
They had already determined she was dead.
Mm-hmm.
And they were mourning her. Jesus didn't go there to mourn. He went there to raise her.
To heal.
In short
sense.
Many times people come to church and they're not there for worship. They're not there to experience the presence of God. They're there to mourn themselves. Oh, poor, pitiful me. When you're dealing with demonic spirits, and they are cast out, they look for some place to go. And if there are individuals there who are not spiritually strong enough, are not cognizant of what's going on, they become very vulnerable. And you can cast a spirit out of one person and it goes into the other person. The minister himself or herself has to be operating first in the gift of discerning of spirits. Okay. not trying to read someone, but the Holy Ghost that is within you should be operating to the point where it recognizes a spirit that is out of order, a demonic spirit in your presence.
I've told this story before. I was at a church. I will not mention the church nor the pastors and people in present, because if I were to say this, everybody would know who I was talking about, and it's not fair to them. I was in this service as a guest. I just stopped in I thought I stopped in for no reason. I know now I stopped in because I needed to be a part of what was about to happen. There was a gentleman who came in seeking prayer. He recognized that he had issues. He had confessed his sins, but he felt as though he just could not stop doing the activity that was the issue. And the good people at the head of the bishops, we've talked about this before, you and I, surrounded him and began to pray. And they asked all people who were of a clergy if they would surround and touch and agree. Well, as I went to touch this young man, I didn't. I didn't. I put my hand out and then I brought it back. As they were praying for him, I heard the demon within him, or the demons that were within him, saying, "I don't know what they're praying for. We're not coming out. He's happy with us, or we're staying."
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I would say I went numb, but I just didn't know what to do. It wasn't my house. It wasn't my call. It wasn't my job. But I'd had a conversation with the demon within this person.
Mm-hmm.
This was early in my ministry, so I didn't understand the power that I now have.
Mm-hmm.
But that was quite, I don't want to say scary, but quite disconcerting.
It is, and it would be. It would be. I think a lot of people will foolishly jump into that particular arena, not understanding the dynamics of it, because an evil spirit that would be attached to somebody is there because he walked through an open door. You got to figure out what the open door is before you ever deal with the spirit.
Let's stop right there.
Send them up?
Stop right there, Bishop. Nira, is what he just said accurate?
I would say it is.
I would say in most cases, yes. I would say in very specific cases, if the spirit leads you to still do so, because I don't think some doors can be closed with something on the inside. But I would say more often than not, yes, that's correct. Because if you don't shut the door and you clear something out, something else even worse can come right back in.
And will.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no point in trying to cast an evil spirit out of somebody who is unrepentant of the things that he's doing that invite that spirit in.
Well, no. Well, let me expand the question then. Is it possible to cast out a demon? I'm gonna be as silly as possible, just for sake of argument. For playing hopscotch when this person is beating his wife. In other words, does everybody get that analogy, or is that too Danish?
It's kind of Danish.
It's kind of Danish. Is it possible, should we be trying to cast out a demon for, say, cigarette smoking when the real issue is that this person's an adulterer?
That's where discernment comes in.
I don't think we should be casting demons out just to address a particular sin pattern. The sin pattern is just the symptom. That's the handiwork of a spirit or spirits.
And keep in mind, we started off with mental illness in the church, and we're all on demons. So let's figure out how that happened.
There's a reason for that.
Because there's overlap. There's definitely overlap in many cases. Not all. Sometimes a mental illness is because there is a chemical imbalance in our body. That's a physical problem, and that needs to be identified too. But that's why we have doctors. We have men and women of God who have discernment and are able to identify if it is a spiritual issue. But there's a lot of people that they don't want to deal with deliverance. They don't, for whatever reason, they're scared of that process. They don't want to pick a fight with the enemy, so they just remain enslaved.
I would suggest that if you're not anointed and equipped for deliverance ministering, that you leave it alone. Because you're not dealing with what Hollywood presents, such as in movies like The Exorcist and the like.
Right.
That's not what you're dealing with like that. And if you come in with the wrong mindset, you yourself become subject to demonic attack.
Amen.
Let's be clear. There is a difference between demonic possession and demonic oppression.
Yes.
They can both manifest as the same, but they're not.
So if I'm professing Christ and I have an issue, and I'm just going to say it because it makes life easier, I have an issue with pornography.
Mm-hmm.
But every other aspect, quote unquote, of my life seems to be in line.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some imbalances in there that would cause me to indulge in pornography on occasion.
That's oppression.
Okay.
That's demonic spirits from your past manifesting itself in such a way to draw you away from God.
Okay. So same person, but now I feel as though I was born.
What about when it's deep depression?
Yeah. If I can never, ever be happy.
Or manic behavior.
I have to do things 17 times to get it right.
Okay.
But again, the question becomes, could any one of us, has everybody ever watched The Big Bang Theory? The question becomes,
Yes.
can any one of us ever minister to Sheldon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what would that look like? What would that ministry look like?
Patient.
He has spoken. Elaborate.
Well, specifically with your question about ministering to Sheldon, the issue isn't even his high IQ, his idiosyncrasies, and what most people will
Get closer to the mic. You're feeding back.
Spectrum.
Get closer to the mic. He's feeding back.
Oh, sorry.
So it's not even an issue of his high IQ. It's an issue that people tend to have less patience with him and treat him differently because he's so intelligent in one area, not realizing that the very things that make him so intelligent in that one area hold him back in others. So whereas he's used to things coming to him easily, whenever it comes to witnessing to someone with that high of an education and that high of an IQ, you actually have to have patience with them because religion is generally an area where they are going to be stunted or held back, and they will struggle to understand it because it's not the typical kind of human science or wisdom they're used to dealing with. So you actually have to be patient with the person that's smarter than you in that instance, because something that their brain isn't used to comprehending is going to take them longer to comprehend. And so many times Christians will give up on people like that because they think they're being difficult, but they're not. They're genuinely struggling to understand something their brain doesn't comprehend.
So, the difference between a Sheldon and a person dealing with trans issues is one is blatantly in your face and one well, what is the difference? I guess the question becomes
different demonic force. It's a different demonic force. When we are addressing sexual spirits, let's not be ignorant in the church, okay? Sex is vital to the human existence.
Yep.
All of us are sexual beings, and we enjoy sex. Okay? So that's one of the things that the enemy will use to pervert our relationship with God.
The Bible, I love how the Bible speaks to every aspect of our life. The marriage bed, undefiled. Whatever y'all want to do in agreement with each other, have at it.
What type of marriage bed? Because the marriage bed has changed.
But that's and see, this is now where we're getting to. Is the marriage bed undefiled if the marriage bed is filled with two men?
Well,
or two women.
In Paul writing this, he was speaking to heterosexual believers. Heterosexual.
Yeah.
One man, one woman.
I understood the concept. I hope to join in one day.
Okay. That is the marriage relationship that God ordered and God ordained. Anything outside of that is an illicit sexual act. If you, as a married person, a married man, a married woman, to one husband, one wife, and you bring someone else into your bedroom with you, that is out of the order of God.
It's by agreement. The marriage bed being undefiled.
Marriage undefiled between a heterosexual couple, not a menage a trois.
Wow, that there goes my Saturday night.
I hope it goes against your Friday night too.
That's a joke, everybody.
How about a Wednesday too?
That's Pastor Dan attempting to be humorous. The views of the So what you're from what I hear you saying, what I hear everybody saying, is we don't spend enough time studying demonic oppression.
No. What I'm saying is that the church, the believer, the minister specifically who's going to be addressing these issues need to be operating in the gift of discerning of spirits. Yeah. You can read about it all you want to. You can study about it all you want to. But if the Holy Ghost is not dealing with you, leave it alone.
I completely agree. I couldn't say. It's one of those things where if you do not know how to drive, do not get behind the wheel.
Yeah.
Here's what you get. Jesus, I know. Paul, I know. But who are you?
Right.
Yeah.
The sons of Sceva went in to cast out demons, and they were not authorized by the Holy Ghost to do so.
Keep in mind, the demons came out.
Oh, they came out. They came out and went to work on them.
What you say? What'd you say, Nira?
I said they came out to play.
Yeah. Oh,
And they don't play fair.
No, they don't. No, and
because they have way better toys than us.
yeah, and I noticed that since the seven sons of Sceva wanted recognition, they got it.
They got it. Not in the way they were.
Yeah, not the way but they got they got recognition. Everybody knew who they were from that point on. Knew everything they needed to know about them.
And fear fell on the church. Okay. In other words, a reverence for the operation of the Holy Ghost fell on the church, and that's where we're having a problem in the church world today. Okay. We have these churches where and these preachers who are proclaiming themselves to be casting out demons, and they expose the entire congregation to demonic activity.
It would seem to me you are accusing
I am.
these pastors and bishops and whatever of malpractice.
I am.
In the worst way.
I am.
Absolutely.
Because they're not equipped to the demons are not coming out based on this person's power. They're coming out based on the fact that they want to play.
And sometimes they don't come out at all. And sometimes there's not even a demon there.
So sometimes
the pastor brought him with it.
Or sometimes, yeah. Okay. Someone said to me, "Well, how do you know that you were not being confused? How do you know this wasn't just happening in your own head? How do you know the voice that you were hearing was that of the demon?" And I said, even at that time, all my life, I've been able to recognize the voice of God and the voice of the enemy. I may not have been sophisticated about it because I didn't understand it, but God's been speaking to me all my life, clearly. It's only now, some 80 years later, that it's coming into vision as to what that really means. The problem I have now is that now that I have this new knowledge, I am held to accountable for it. I'm held to account for it. And when I recognize it in other people, what am I to do? Because there are people around us in the ministry that are demonically oppressed. Maybe not possessed, but certainly demonically oppressed. And whenever they go ahead.
What's the difference?
Well,
between possession and oppression?
One is holding and the other one is pushing.
Yeah. See, a Christian.
That's a way to put it.
Thank you. I have to be simple. I'm not as smart as you folk.
A Christian can't be possessed because we belong to God, but we can be harassed and oppressed.
There you go. That's what I'm looking for.
I know. I knew that's somebody would say it.
It's important for the child of God to recognize that the devil no longer holds sway over their life, over their soul. But because we're yet in this flesh, he has the ability to attack us and to influence us.
Yeah. And to our own foolishness and rebellious nature, even as Christians, we can authorize them to do it.
Well,
you know,
this becomes a very difficult problem for those of us who are not sophisticated as the rest of you folk, because what you're saying is that we are putting ourselves in a position where we are vulnerable, either through our own actions, driving when we know we're tired and we shouldn't be, rushing to do things and not taking account of what's around us. So is it demonic oppression or demonic possession when something happens based on your action? I can't blame anybody for the recent disasters in my life. I can't. It's not fair. Now, it would be nice if and I've been praying for healing and for restoration and for God to help in this situation. But maybe the help is just God telling me to slow down so that this doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm not. Go ahead.
Sometimes that's what it. Sometimes that's what it is. In that, I can give my heart to Jesus, but I'm a baby. I don't know the ropes yet, and I'm 64 years old, over 50 years as a Christian, and I'm still finding out stuff. I'm still learning. I'm still human in the flesh, making mistakes, and sometimes they're not mistakes. Sometimes it's just rebellion, selfishness, and I go ahead and I do the sin anyway, just because I'm not perfected yet. But
that seems to me to be a bit of a cop-out, by the way.
Well, no, that's me owning up to my own sinful nature.
Is that what you're really doing, or are you seeking permission to be stupid?
No, there's no such thing as permission to be stupid. The consequence is the same, and that's what I'm getting to. Whether we intended to bring about the consequence or not, the consequence comes. And if I, as a Christian, and I'm going to make up a scenario. I've never done this, but if there's some friends that I'd really like to be in a little closer with, and I want to be popular, whatever. I'm in a new surrounding. I think I'm in a relatively new surrounding, moving back here to Texas. I've lived here many years before, but I have a whole brand new circle of friends. Well, let's say I wanted to be popular with them, and they were doing something foolish. Hey, we're having a drinking party over here at so and so's house, and we're gonna break out a Ouija board. Come on, Dan, don't be a prude. Let's have a good time. It'll be fun. Well, if I give in to that, I'm a Christian. But if I give in to that is sorcery, witchcraft of the most evil. I cannot believe that the maker of children's games puts that kind of a bomb out there on the shelf to be distributed to children. For me, I cannot understand that. I can't wrap my head around that. But
it's clear as a bell to me. It really is. No, seriously. This does not require a degree in theology to understand. Get them while they're young.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. If I task you, Pastor Dan or Bishop, I say, I'm going to give you a challenge. You have to go out with your bare hands and kill a grizzly bear. You want to get him while he's a cub, or you want to wait till he's full grown?
I want to get a new friend. I'm just saying, I want to get it. I'm not doing that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, but just for the analogy.
No, I understand the analogy, but my problem is I don't agree with hazing. I don't agree with this whole idea that I'm going to subject you to these dehumanizing things so that you can now become part of us. I've never understood.
See, that's the thing. Our enemy is a military genius. He doesn't haze people. He doesn't do any of that stuff. What he does is he lures you in with a little bit of power, and he lures you in with a little bit of the thing that you desire. And so you will gladly do the thing he's asking of you because you're going to get more power. And that's true. You will. But the consequences and the snare that comes along with it aren't worth it. And that's where he gets you. He's not stupid.
And he's
going to lure you in with the exact thing you want, and he has the power to give it to you for a short period of time.
You have to look at, who is the voice behind the curtains on the organizations that do that.
Mm-hmm.
Your fraternities, your secret societies, and who's behind those secret societies. It boils down to Luciferianism. It is old Slewfoot himself that's doing it.
Dare I say that Baal worship is alive and well in today's world. We don't call it that.
No.
Of course not. We can't call it that anymore.
But that's what it is.
Because to catch a fish, you need the right kind of bait.
Yes.
And so if you're fishing for different fish, then he's obviously got to use a different bait. So he uses intelligence, he uses power, he uses confusion in a different way than he did before, but it's still the same thing. We have the perfect example in the Bible of oppression versus possession. And you see it in Judas. Because up until Judas rejected the love of Jesus at the Passover Seder, and Jesus tells him, okay, go ahead, go do what you're going to do. Jesus allows him to make that choice, but up to that point, Judas could only be oppressed. He could only have those thoughts and be around people and have those little things come towards him, but it wasn't in him until Jesus let him go after he'd rejected him. So that's when he was able to go in, and it says when he left, that's when Satan entered him.
Yeah.
That was the first moment Satan could. But up to that point, he couldn't possess him. He could simply oppress him. And some people get so oppressed that they think they're possessed, and they're not yet. Because the thing about possession is there has to be a specific instance where you open the door and allow him to come in and give him permission. If you don't have that moment, you're not possessed. You're simply oppressed in a point that you think you might be possessed. And that's where he gets you, because he's a absolute military genius. But he doesn't have the power that we attribute to him in every area. We think he can do all these things when he can't. We've just led ourselves to believe that he can. And that's where he wants you. He wants you to believe that he can do anything. And he can't. He's not God.
Why is it that Satan finds it so necessary for him to attack and destroy man,
when ultimately he doesn't give two kitties about man? Ultimately,
he's trying to hurt God.
Well, he's not. Here's the problem. When you say he's trying to do something, that's a problem. He set himself apart from God by a deliberate action. He didn't accidentally fall into the fact that he desired the worship as opposed to worshiping God. This is a deliberate. There is nothing incidental about Satan. There's nothing by the way or happenstance. Satan is the most deliberate entity that there is. If we had the, Dan's going to say something stupid again. If we had the zealousness for God that Satan has against God, we'd be a whole lot better at our worship.
We'd be unstoppable.
Did Dan say something intelligent? Did that happen? Wait a second. Somebody get Dan back in the studio.
No, Dan's here. Dan's here. Satan can no longer be in the presence of God as he once was. And I was explained to one of my sons who asked me, he said, Daddy, I see all of these explanations of what hell is, burning with fire and brimstone and the wailing and gnashing of teeth and everything. He said, is it like that or is it something else? And I said to him, the types and the pictures are accurate, but beyond that, hell is separation from God. Satan knows that he will be eternally separated from his creator. And he, like so many human beings, misery loves company. And if he can't be in the presence of God, he doesn't want you to be so.
Not because he cares about you.
No.
I do not know how many times I've tried to explain this to people. Satan does not care about you.
There's no emotional attachment
There's no emotional attachment there whatsoever from him to you. There may well be one from you to him. But that is the ultimate insidious nature of Satan. And I don't know if I did this on the air or there's a scene in The Dark Knight, Jack Nicholson playing the Joker, one of the best portrayals of the Joker there is. And Max is Jack Nicholson's closest confidant or closest number one person. And the Joker says to Max, I am depressed. Max, give me your gun. And Max hands him his gun, and the Joker shoots him dead. And he's like, oh, I feel better now. That is a perfect example to me of the devil, Satan, and how he operates. As loyal as Max was to him, it didn't mean anything to the Joker.
Let me point this in the direction of Scripture. Paul says in Romans chapter 7, right around verse 14, 15, he says, for I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. For the good I would do,